It's Doug Gottlieb Show here on Fox Sports Radio, and it's always been fun when he stopped by. You go back, I've been doing this a long time, and usually we get like kind of pearls and nuggets on all different parts of the NFL. And, you know, obviously won a Super Bowl with the Saints. Heck, they hadn't even won a playoff game before he got there. And took a year away doing broadcasting for us for Fox, and now back with the Denver Broncos. He's Sean Payton. He joins us on behalf of Zebra Technology. He joins us here on the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio. There's a lot of things I want to get to, but you give up 70 points to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
And you're on the plane home.
Yeah.
Okay? As honestly as you can, what is going on in your mind?
Look, when that game ended, you know, if you're 5 years, 6 years into a program with an established team, it might be one of those games where you just say, hey, I just want to throw the film away. We're not going to look at it. The problem was we were in year one of a program, and so the feeling was, look, this is gonna suck going down, but we're gonna digest it and we're gonna watch it, and then and try to learn as best we can from it. And so, and all of us have a piece in that. You know, that's not just, man, the players. There are so many elements to that we did such a poor job with from a coaching perspective. And then here's the thing about our league, man. No one gives a flip.
Yeah. No one cares.
No one. And Monday comes,
yep.
and you got to get ready to shed that. And if you can't shed it, you're gonna lose the next three.
I understand, but I think my fear for you, outside looking in, is whatever your messaging was, they were fighting you on it, and they quit. I thought they quit on you that game. And again, I didn't watch the film, and I wasn't there. And so, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, when you lose a game like that, I mean, look, they quit on themselves, all of us. You know, but you got to get past it, and then
how?
Well, you're 5 weeks into the season. Like, you got to fight.
But you've been doing this a long time.
That's right.
Right?
I mean, we might have to release a few players.
Right.
And we might have to say, hey, this is the direction we're going. But here's the deal, all right? I just got here.
Yeah.
So I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
All right? And so we're trying to find 53 guys that are going to fight and compete, and we were able to do that. And the next week, you know, we get a kind of an ugly win at Chicago. They played pretty well. We came back. I mean, we were fortunate to win that game. And then the one thing I do remember, I remember us talking about the 1-6 Lions, and, you know, obviously my guy Dan Campbell's there. Dan and I have been together forever. Proud of the work he's done. And just a year and a half ago, they sat at 1-6, and I put up some numbers just to draw a comparison. We were 1-5, they were 1-6. We were turning the ball over, bottom of the league, and we were taking the ball away, bottom of the league. That Lions team was turning it over and taking it away last, you know, near the bottom of the league. And then in their next 10 games, when they went 8-2 or whatever they did, they got to 9-7. They didn't get in the postseason. They lost to Green Bay the last week of the season. But here's what changed, and that actually changed for us then. You know, I think we won 5 or 6 in a row, and we started taking the football away. We started protecting it, learning, you know, how not to lose games.
So is the process learning how not to lose, then learning how to win?
Well, to some degree.
Because I think the hardest thing to teach in sports is how do you win games? How do you close those games?
Yeah.
And the best of the best of you guys, of coaches, figure out how to do that, right?
100%.
But as the football expression goes, more games are lost than won, right?
So trying to get in there, prior to getting to that spot, all right, prior to getting to playoff football, and when teams that you're playing are doing the same thing, then you get into that advanced level of competition. But in the early stages, man, we were just doing a lot of dumb things.
Yeah. I think it's amazing that you got them back on track and win a game, because that you can lose. They can spiral completely out of control.
Yeah.
Completely out of control. What's the better way, or I don't want to say easier, but the most efficient way to build? These two teams are built completely differently, right? One is built around the quarterback, and the other one is built around everything but the quarterback.
Yeah, I think one of the things that takes place in our league differently than maybe 15 years, 20 some years ago, no free agency. You had a draft. You went to camp. 3 rookies made the team. Big news was these 3 players that were on the team got cut, and then they played a season. Now, we deal with 20 to 30% turnover. And I liken it a little bit to this. When the season ends and you have this board game, and whether you finish the puzzle or not, or how far along you got in the puzzle, you flip the thing over, all right? You turn the board back up, you mix the pieces up, you take a few out, you add a few, and we've got a new puzzle, all right? So the 2024 Broncos puzzle, all right, deals with salary cap. It deals with free agents we may or may not lose. It deals with the current draft. It deals with our list of musts, needs, and wants. And then we begin the process of trying to figure out this puzzle. And the same thing is going to exist with these 2 teams to some degree. Now, the Chiefs are going to flip that thing, turn it upside down. They're going to put the first piece right in the middle, and it's going to be Mahomes. All right? And there's going to be some staples to that puzzle. San Francisco the same way relative to how they're built. Now, how they're built is a little bit of how it arrived. That puzzle they flipped, that quarterback they took in the first round was supposed to be in the middle of this.
First they traded for Garoppolo, and he was the guy. And then they thought, okay, we topped out there. Then they go and draft Trey Lance.
So sometimes you arrive at this puzzle.
Yeah.
In other words, because if it was Purdy, he would have been taken that early.
Sure.
Yeah, and so there is some adjusting that's taken place. There's a belief, obviously, Kyle has in what he wants to do offensively, and how he wants to run the football, how he wants to come off the play action, those type of things. There's a belief in what Andy believes in strongly relative to their passing game. I think one of the more underappreciated or undervalued element in this whole postseason is how well Kansas City's playing on defense.
Yeah.
And we saw them. Obviously, we saw them 2 games. Spags has done a great job. They're physical. They disrupt the timing of the passing game on the perimeter, which a lot of people don't do anymore. Those corners are physical. The nickel's playing well. And I think you have a team, really, when you watch them, let's be honest, you have a team that's gone on the road. I mean, they won a tough game at home against Miami, at Buffalo, at Baltimore. All we talked about with the Baltimore game was, well, the Baltimore's got away from running the ball, all that kind of stuff. Man, time of possession in that game. Baltimore didn't have a lot of offensive snaps.
Sure.
They couldn't get off the field defensively.
Yeah. No, they did to Baltimore what people tried to do to them for a long time, right?
Yeah, I mean, look.
And then they didn't score in the second half, but they were very conservative. Hey, let's just not lose the game and let our defense win it for us.
The snap count. I mean, when you actually look at how many drives Baltimore had, and so, you normally count on 12 possessions, 11 or 12 possessions. You have a call sheet, maybe 90 to 120 plays, some run, pass, variations. And there are games, though, where that snap count drops to 54, and you don't get to half of what you wanted to do offensively. Part of that was a result of them not getting off the field defensively. Kelsey, how many catches did Kelsey have in the first half of that game? I mean,
he had the 1 touchdown catch, but other than that,
10 receptions, though,
yeah.
And the clock just kept ticking.
Something that you famously said when you're in New Orleans and you got screwed on the pass interference call against the Rams.
Yeah.
Right, but you were yelling, and the audio picked up. You were yelling, "That's a Super Bowl call. That's a Super Bowl call." Right?
Yeah.
And that's because, again, as we've all learned, they don't want to throw penalties in the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah.
They let you play.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't that stand to reason that'll help Kansas City because they're so naturally physical anyway, and it's a little bit timing based with Brock Purdy? Doesn't that feel like that sets up to how you can play in the Super Bowl and get away with stuff?
Yeah, and you got Bill Vinovich again. I listen. I think this. I like it when the officials want guys to play. I think that's important. And someone said it best. I think it was Gene Steratore said, you get to your meeting with your crew, and we're looking to catch the whales, not the minnows.
Yeah.
We're looking to catch the penalties. So I've always disagreed with the all-star crews relative to the playoffs. I think that the problem with that, and I understand it, but the problem with that is you have young officials, old officials working a game together for the first time, and then there's human nature that takes place. If you and I meet each other and we go golf on a Friday for the first time, I'm probably going to give you that 2-foot putt. We're going to acquiesce. We want to get along.
Right.
And then, but if we play every Friday, I'm going to be like, hey, Bucket Doug, I need to see that.
Yeah.
You need to putt that. And so when you get in a game and one official has an angle and he signals something, and the young official in his first game working with this veteran official, what's his instincts? It's to agree. All right. But if they work every Friday and his gut tells him it's a foul. But I do think postseason football, and the same for basketball, the same for hockey, the same for baseball. Hey, we get to the stage, we don't want to be the story. And I think in this game, look, I just think you have one team, in my opinion, that's playing really well in a stretch where they've gone on the road to win, and then another team, and I know Kyle's aware of this, who hasn't played as well.
No, they haven't played five of the 8 quarters. They really haven't played great football.
I mean, and defensively particularly.
Yeah.
We heard a lot about it. So I'm sure they had some tough film meetings, and so we're all anxious to watch this thing and how it unfolds. But Kansas City's defense is real.
Let me ask you about Zebra technology. You've been using this for years. You've been pumping it for 4 years.
It's 10 years with the league. And look, here's the deal. It's the next gen stuff that we're all looking at. 21 miles an hour. Tyreek Hill 22 miles an hour. This is the ball. This is the chip in the ball. All that stuff that we're getting, where players line up, what personnel grouping. It's next gen stats, right? And Zebra is the chip. It's powered by Zebra. So it's this little chip. It goes in the shoulder pad. It's at target. Here it is. There's on your water right there. That's Zebra.
Yeah.
All right, it's the barcode. So we've been together 7 years. This is year 10 with the NFL. There's a lot of things they're going to continue to look at doing. The one thing that fascinates me the most is when the punter punts the ball deep out of bounds. And
where it goes out of bounds?
And then the official stands, and then the far back judge just keeps walking.
Yeah.
And it's something about that just you're like, come on.
Well, no, it's a billion-dollar business, and we have frankly old men's eyesight determining where the football goes or if it went into the end zone, which is crazy.
Yeah,
we have all this technology sitting right there for us.
It's coming.
Last thing, because I know you got to go. Has there been any moment where you've said, why did I come back to this?
No, there hasn't. And thankfully, that moment existed when I stepped away. Meaning, man, the coolest part of the job for me when I stepped away was the family at Fox, because I'd been in the NFC my whole career. 2 years in Philly, all right, 4 years in New York, that's 6, 3 in Dallas, that's 9, 16 with the Saints, 25. Every season in the NFC. And then when you're winning, and we won a lot, you're getting Aikman and Buck, and you're getting the number one crew. And then so the unique thing about that Fox pregame show is, man, those guys have been together forever.
Right.
And here's the other thing. They hang together, love each other, dinner together, and you feel it when you watch the show. And so when I got on that and had the morning show with Carissa Charles, Peter Schrager and Mike Vick, and then the afternoon show, those are like mini families, and they filled that void, if you will. And, man, I couldn't wait for those Sundays because that was the only fix.
Right.
But even in your best day and your narratives hit and you feel like everything you discussed hit, you get in your car, you drive home.
There's no wins, there's no losses.
There's no wins, there's no losses.
Yep.
You hear the stadium, you smell the gasoline, the cars are purring around the track, the lights are on, and you're like, man, I got to get back into that. So everything matters.
It's a drug, and it's an addictive drug, but it's one that you've been able to be very, very successful taking, that being coaching in the NFL. Hey, man, it's great to see you.
Great to see you.
Congrats on keeping that thing together. Can't wait to see what year 2 it looks like.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.